I'm Dana Schmitt. I'm a perfumer at Givaudan, and I'm happy to be a part of Fragrance Day.
Hi, my name's Nilsen. I'm a perfumer with Givaudan Fragrances, and I'm really excited to be here today for Fragrance Day 2022.
Hi, I'm Hassan, a perfumer in New York, and welcome to Fragrance Day 2022.
I love the fact that you can use caramel to add delightful and indulgent, even joyful notes to a fragrance. A simple combination of heat, sugar, butter, and milk creates something magical. And when you add this caramel note to fragrances, it does the same thing. You can take a flower that's just sitting there and make it delicious and edible. You can even take a wood and make it lickable. So what caramel does is it just makes it something special, adds that special you-know-what.
One of my big pleasures in life is intimacy. It can be intimacy with my partner. It can be intimacy with my kids, a big hug with the three of them at the same time. And the way that translates into fragrance is because for me, the two are linked. If you hug somebody, you definitely smell that person at the same time. They go completely well together. They're intertwined, and which is why I love creating fragrances that have a little bit of this perception between ambrette and vetiver and musks and leather. They give me this perception of intimacy that sex gives me.
I love the ocean. It's a place without limit. I love the smell of the sea, the smell of the water, the shape of the waves. For me, it's a great relaxing time. It's a good time for meditation, and it's a good time for thinking about new fragrances, new accords, and to find inspiration.
Delight is that moment that you smell something and you feel viscerally brought somewhere. So delight from my childhood really revolves around me being in the kitchen with my dad. So a lot of smells in the kitchen bring me delight, but specifically I would say making cookies. That smell when you enter the kitchen and smell those yummy treats is so delightful to me.
Delight to me smells very rich, luxurious, and very comfortable. So obviously fragrance brings me great delight, so I decided to start a fragrant garden, whether they be aromatic plants like lavender and basil, or more floral and fragrant plants like roses, lily of the valley. Gardening really gives me a chance to focus on everything else, basically. The weather, the water, the beauty of nature, and really just taking myself out of the equation. Nature is such a phenomenal force and so beautiful. It's futile to try and imitate, but definitely an infinite source of inspiration.
It's very important to me that when I'm creating fragrances with a purpose. Raw materials that are renewable, sustainable, upcycled. Ingredients that are good for everyone down the supply chain. You know, for me, it's my responsibility, it's my obligation as a perfumer to create fragrances that not only smell good, but are good for everybody.
Delight means to me so many things. It's actually, in terms of fragrance, bringing joy to the consumer. Taking a piece of you, taking a piece of your inspiration, of who you are, and putting it out there for someone else to enjoy. That's what delight means to me.
Everybody's looking for it. It's about deliciousness, about pleasure, about making someone or oneself happy. I want to delight yourself. I want to delight myself. There's one consensus. When you are delighted, you smile, you're happy.
So now is the time for you to enjoy what we have given you in your pouch. And I want you to take out the sample of pistachio vetiver. It's the time right now for you to smell it, rub it, and smell it, and enjoy it. So as you smell pistachio vetiver, I want you to smell the two different components of this beautiful fragrance and why I created pistachio vetiver. Pistachio is a salty note, is a nutty note that complements really well vetiver. Vetiver itself has this nutty piece, and I wanted to highlight it more on the pistachio because myself, I have a salty craving. I don't usually have a sweet tooth, but a salty craving that I always yearn for peanuts, cashews, and pistachios, and even chips. So I wanted to satisfy that salty craving with the vetiver. And the vetiver is actually a natural that we're obtaining from Haiti, where we're working with the local communities producing this unique ingredient. It's the oil distilled from the vetiver roots. It's very sweet. It adds texture to a fragrance. It's woody, has a smoky nuances. It's very sensual and intriguing. So combining it with the pistachio gave it a nice effect.
So, I know that you have a little goodie bag from Givaudan, so please open it and scavenge around it, and please find that little tube of fragrance that is labeled Guava Labyrinth. It's a baby I made for you. So very calmly and very slowly, apply a little bit of the oil and put it on your skin, very slowly. And you will see that because of this beautiful base and then the one from your skin, you will be discovering the intricacies of the life of the guava tree, which is a labyrinth. So let me tell you about this perfume. Guava, as you all know, is a tropical fruit. It is originary from my homeland, Mexico. And in Mexico, we eat a lot of guava. So, part number one, I do have a little bit of an emotional imprint with this fruit. The guava tree is quite a large tree. It flowers en masse, and the flowers are also very, very fragrant. The leaves also are very aromatic. If you crush them, you will get a very nice, sparkling, peppery scent. So I studied all the parts of this tree: the wood, the twigs, the leaves, the flowers, and of course, the delicious fruit. So, studying it very deeply, I found very interesting molecules and very interesting combinations of molecules that only Mother Nature can put together. So all of those molecules are inside this perfume. So it is a little bit of the recreation of how will be the portrait in 3D of the guava tree. The most important and the most relevant part of the whole guava universe is the fruit. It is delicious when you eat it fresh. It's very grainy, a little sulfuraceous. It has smells that remind a little bit of blackcurrant, a little bit of a match when you just light it. And at the same time, there's a juiciness and a very characteristic spiciness. But what is more interesting is when you cook the fruit in order to obtain a beautiful paste that is eaten as a dessert in Latin American countries. And this sugariness, this nectar-like impression of the guava then becomes very, very unctuous, very sensuous, extremely caramellic, and very mouth-watering. So I'm sure you will discover in this perfume the bright, beautiful green aspect of the leaves and the twigs, and then a very elegant floralcy that is also enriched with touches of orange flower and sambac jasmine, and then of course this prevalent aura of the fruit, both in its natural state, hanging from the fruit, and in its cooked state, the way we like it in our countries in Latin America.